Have you ever played The Last of Us?
About 3 hours worth of it.
You need to get back into it.
I do.
Like, I'm not accepting 3 hours.
I know. I wouldn't either.
I will murder your family. Okay? Because the clickers are coming.
I've dealt with them.
Oh, I know. They're coming for you. And as you know, in Walking Dead and Last of Us, the humans are more dangerous than the monsters. So, you better play the rest of this game.
I am.
Because there's a rumor out right now. The Last of Us sequel might take place in Seattle, Washington. Now, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. I like watching theorists about Game of Thrones, hearing little things here, but I had this whisper from Derek Daniel. He's like, hey, he's like whispering in my ear. I'm like, back off, Derek. He's like, well, let me tell you what about this. He sends me this article. I'm like, oh, I like this. I like hearing about this because I love Last of Us. So, Naughty Dog has not been particularly like, hey guys,
outgoing.
They're not like throwing out just stuff, which is fine by me. I want them to be quiet about it until it's ready to go. But they put out some art and all of that, and somebody on Reddit, of course, on Reddit is going to pick it apart, which I love because it gives us more details. The Last of Us subreddit, however, might have figured out enough details for the game's concept art to figure out that it takes place in Seattle, Washington. A very convincing post by user Voldsby, Voldsby, I'm assuming that's how you spell it, on the aforementioned subreddit lays out the argument with pictures of Seattle's various, I'll scroll down here so y'all can see it, various signs and landmarks, and finds matching imagery in the art released for the game. The comparisons get so granular that at one point, Voldsby points out the vegetation. I'm talking about the vegetation, the flora and the fauna. And the concept art is indigenous to the Western North America, specifically Washington.
Hey.
I'm telling you, he went into the weeds. You get me?
I did.
The vegetation of the weeds.
It's going to be very rainy.
It will be. So, they haven't put out a release date or anything. But that excites me. Somebody's going that deep.
Oh, yeah.
Digging up all those things. Digging up
a hole, digging.
Because, you haven't finished it. I should spoil it right here for you. But that end of the game, it's a big moment. It was different than, I'm not going to compare it to BioShock, but it was a lot different because it didn't give you a choice. Most video games give you, do you say this or do you say this?
Yeah.
And big moments right there, didn't give you a choice. That was big for me. Very big for me. So, can't wait for you to finish it. Let us know what you think about Last of Us 2 taking place in possibly Seattle, Washington. I wonder what it's going to do to the game, though. What is it going to, bring into it?
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows? Naughty Dog knows.
They do.
We don't know, though.
We have no clue.
Now, this excites me beyond all things. You know me. I'm not big into horror games.
Oh, yeah.
Till recently. Because it scared the bejesus out of me. But one horror game that I like to play is Friday the 13th. And this is big news. Friday the 13th. The game sells 1.8 million copies. 1.8 million copies.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. The game that is pretty much, and if you haven't played it, and this is me not knocking it, it needs some work. It's pretty much an early access game right now.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of work that it still needs to be taken care of. But 1.8 million. That's crazy.
It is.
So Guns Media and Ilphonic have announced that Friday the 13th, the game has sold over 1.8 million copies across all platforms. Plus, a physical release will be available for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One versions on, you guessed it, Friday the 13th in October 2017. That's awesome. I'm glad they're using that.
Oh, yeah, they have to. I'm glad it was...
I'm glad that it actually worked that way.
Oh, yeah.
I think they were thinking ahead of time. They're like,
we're going to create this game to where it actually everything works out.
The physical edition will cost $40 and will come with a Bloody Jason skin variant for all playable Jason versions and a clothing pack for all playable camp counselors. Wes Keltner, head of Gun Media, said, "While things haven't been completely smooth, we definitely feel confident moving forward. The team has grown and we are committed as we work to add more content, more kills, more to do, and of course, the single-player component to the game." So, what that tells me right there, that they're selling like hotcakes. They're bringing more people in. They're trying to fix the bugs. They need to fix the bugs. They need to add more maps. We talked about a few weeks ago the single-player component. I'm hoping that happens. I hope it happens soon.
Oh, yeah.
I think it'll happen at the beginning of next year. That's when we'll get the single-player component to it.
Because I think by then they'll have a lot of the bugs and kinks worked out of it.
I think to keep the community going and keep people coming back when they boot up their Xbox One, they turn on their PS4, whatever, they turn on their PC. To keep people coming back, though, just putting skin packs out and putting out a physical copy, yes, that'll get more people into it, but keep the diehards, the ones that like, double XP weekend's coming up, brah.
Mm-hmm.
Coming up, man. Yeah. We got me some Mountain Dew.
And some Doritos.
Some Doritos. And let's get some walking tacos. Walking tacos, good, by the way. Just saying.
Walking tacos.
I'll tell you in just a second what walking tacos is. Now, they've got to put out some new maps. Now, all the maps right now, pretty much the same thing. They got a little different paint on.
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
By a lake.
Give me like a spaceship. Give me, I'm
no,
kidding. I'm kidding.
No. That one was, no.
Okay.
No.
No spaceship. Okay, so no Jason X here.
Had my fill of
So give some people some different things, clean up the game. They really need, and then I think they should put in a different mode. Like they need to do some things with the game to keep people wanting to keep coming back, because I love the game. It is a ton of fun. I love streaming it. I love just getting in it when I have 20, 30 minutes and just play a game, and either I'm Jason. I love being Jason, just murdering people. I call it Murder Train. Yeah, there's a little wink at How I Met Your Mother, Murder Train song. But anyway, I'm glad that they're doing this. Like, I'm excited that we're getting a physical copy that'll get people that aren't in the digital age, that don't have fast enough internet to download games, because I know that's a big problem. I used to be there.
We've all been there.
So I think having the physical copy will bring more people into it. I'm surprised that it's selling this much. If you didn't hear, Crash Bandicoot sold over 2 million copies so far. That's crazy. And that's only on the PS4.
Yep. But it's such a beloved franchise.
It is. And with Friday the 13th selling this much, I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait for the single-player campaign. I know I talked to a lot of people in the comments on our episode 216, and people are excited for it, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait to just get a hold of it and actually get into it. So I'm hoping that around February, February, March, we'll get the single-player component. I just hope that they keep putting out new things with the multiplayer side of it.
They have to keep
people involved in it, or it's going to go the way of the dinosaurs. And
Freddy versus Jason DLC. I know it won't happen.
I don't think it'll happen either, but I'm really excited. Now, walking tacos, here's a quick side. Derek's party. I'm assuming you
yeah.
Well, did you get any?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The different,
So for the people out there, you get any kind of chip, really. Doritos, Fritos would be good too. Crunch them up a little bit. You put your meat in there. Your taco meat with the sauce and all that. Try not to get it runny. That would be nasty. But you put it in there and you mix it up, and then you get a fork and you just eat it. It's delicious. It's kind of like a Taco Bell dose, nachos, cheese, whatever. It's good though. Trust me.
It was very smart.
It was very smart.
We approve.
Yes, we do. Now, I know a lot of people out there are like, this game, it's going to be the best thing ever. And then there's some people out there.
I'm excited for it, but we're still skeptical about it.
Very skeptical about it. And we're going to get in the weeds here a little bit, okay? We're getting the weeds in here. Nope. There we go. Destiny 2 super abilities were recharged faster than the beta. Bungie has spilled some of the new details on Destiny Super 2 abilities following the recent beta phase, as well as tracking recent talking points and weapon balancing. They spoke to IGN. This is Destiny's game director Luke Smith talking. In the wake of the beta, we've made a few changes that will increase super regeneration across the game. So that's good.
Yeah.
Apparently it was slow.
I watched some of the beta stuff, and it takes players a while to build that back up. And, you know, there's times when you definitely need supers in the game to be able to help take down the big baddies.
Yeah.
So
it's good to see that they took feedback on there. Elsewhere, Smith also tackled concerns regarding the balance between PvE and PvP weapons and armor, after numerous feedbacks from the beta suggested that things fell off in comparison to the real game. In response, it appears that Destiny's 2 combat will be a more cohesive effort across both types, with little differences in both PvE and PvP. In Destiny, you build a character with a bunch of powers, abilities, and we hope a combat rhythm that is consistent across the game. So I like that, because in the original game, it felt like it takes forever to kill anything in PvE, and then when you're in PvP, you die really, really quick, and like your armor doesn't mean anything, and you could be, I'm glad that they're doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
But there needs to be a balance. It doesn't need to be this drastic change that's like throwing everybody off, because you've got people that have, put in a time in this game.
And then you're sitting there and you're shooting them, and it's just doing nothing. They're just walking at you and laughing like,
yeah,
human.
It's like one, just like taking one damage.
That would suck.
It's true, because all of them are just bullet sponges. Unlike the original Destiny, your Guardian will be silent throughout the campaign, presumably allowing the other characters to deliver dialogue. In addition, Bungie's Mark Noseworthy said that the studio hopes to provide an HDR update for Destiny 2 at some point down the line. And Destiny 2, of course, is going to be coming out September 6th.
I don't care if my guy talks at all. Just have me a story. I don't care if the other ones are driving the story. Just have a story.
Now, September 6th is the console version. Just want to point this out real quick. And then October, the PC version is going to be coming out. Here's my problem. Okay, and I'm going to get into this in the next article in just a second. It seems like they're doing things for the future and not for right now. That's what I'm getting. Okay? That's what I'm getting. They're doing these cutscenes and all that, and other people talk. I like my character to talk, okay? Mm-hmm. I want to feel like my character is involved in the story somehow, other than shooting things. And then they say they're going to do an HDR update down the road. Why isn't it already in the game? Okay? That's where I have some concerns right there. The next article makes me feel even more concerned. All right? And the title of this article says it all. Destiny 2 DLC could be as important as the main game, Activision says.
Why? Because you're the same footsteps you were just in with your previous game, where you had to have all the expansions, and they weren't like, oh, here's your $10 expansion. No,
it's like $40 each time,
and it adds on to the story, but it was just still stupid.
So we'll get there. We're gonna vent a little bit. Let me dive into the weeds here, everybody. This is for you if you're a Destiny fan, because I was once a Destiny fan. I want to be a Destiny fan, but Activision. Oh, Activision. Destiny 2's expansions are going to be very important for the overall health and success of the shooter, according to the publisher Activision. Makes sense. You got to keep people involved. I understand that. Starting off, Hernsberg said that a lot of positive signs about Destiny 2. Starting off, Activision believes its game itself. Hernsberg said the publisher has a tremendous amount of confidence in it. We received almost universally positive feedback from both the press and fans alike. Adding that continuing to close strong. One of the reasons why Activision is so optimistic about Destiny 2 is because they're taking steps to broaden the franchise appeal, Heisenberg said, with things like bringing it to PC, localizing it for more countries, and partnering with Blizzard to launch the PC edition through the World of Warcraft company massive popular Battle.net service. I like that. Yeah. So far, so good. He added that pre-orders for Destiny 2 have been very strong. Awesome. Overwhelming high percentage of pre-orders have been for the premium versions. Oh, that's great. And then we keep going. Destiny will be supporting multiple expansions after the launch. Okay, so far so good. We're going on strong here. While these have yet to be fully detailed, Hirschberg, that's a weird name, oh Hershey boy, stressed that Destiny 2's expansion content is incredibly important. All right, so far, feeling all right. You know, a little doubt in my mind. You know, they're worried about pre-orders and all of this. Finally, and maybe most importantly with a game like this, Destiny is so engaging that the follow-on content is almost important, if not as important, as the main game.
See, he could be saying, you know, like most games, it's not, you know, as important, but it is important to the game for the continuation. Like Dying Light, the DLC that you got with it opened up a whole new area.
Are you bringing up Dying Light? Do you really want to open that box?
No, I don't.
Okay, so here it is. Dying Light, amazing game. It's DLC, other than the first one, I think. The first one you had to pay for. Mm-hmm. Okay, has been free. They're still supporting the game with free DLC. They're adding to their map for free.
You're right.
Destiny, on the other hand, Destiny Vanilla, what I bought into, I paid $60 freaking for. I got hardly anything. There was no story. There was nothing to it. It was just like, shoot this guy, shoot this guy. Oh, that little guy? Now here's a big one of those things. Shoot that a bunch. Okay, you died. Do it again. Do it again. Go patrol the moon. We don't have any content for you. Go patrol the moon. Oh, you got to run around this thing until you shoot this thing enough to kill it. That's ridiculous. And then they put out their first expansion. Oh, $20? Sure, I'll pay $20. No, it's $40. Okay. Oh, well, this makes the game way better. Okay, cool. So I've already paid $100 for this game so far. Oh, next expansion comes out. Oh, well, this has improved the game a lot more. Another $40. That's $140 so far on this. I know people have spent over $300 just to play Destiny, and it took that much money to get a game that should have came out at $60. And bringing up Dying Light, great point. You probably paid $80 to get the whole game, and they're still supporting it with free content. This makes me very angry because it's like, we've already planned not to put everything in the first game. We're planning that our DLC will be as important or more important. That's what I'm reading it as, because we're not really finished on the game yet. So we're planning out this. Now, they have other studios other than Bungie that are producing this. I think it's, real quick, I'll tell you. Vicarious Visions, I trust them, and High Moon Studios are going to be working on these expansions. But it's telling me right now that the day one game that I buy for $60
is not the full game.
Is not the full game. And yes, I'm glad that they're putting out expansions. MMOs need to put out expansions. Games that want to continue to thrive and survive need to put out expansions. But the first game that I get in my hand doesn't need to be the disappointment that Destiny Vanilla was, because that was a disappointment.
But I do think that Bungie has learned a lesson because they're
going to put it out faster.
Because
it took almost a year for the first one.
But I feel like what we get the first time around is going to be more full than what we got with Destiny 1, because they realized they got crapped on so much from Destiny 1.
Oh, I agree. And I'm going to still crap on them until I'm proven wrong.
I hope you are, and I hope it's a great game, because it has such potential to be so fun. Mm-hmm. But if it's like anything like Destiny 1, where we have to just keep going and buying these expansions, I'm going to be pissed off.
It kind of comes down to me for this. I'm going to speak with my wallet. If somebody wants to get me Destiny 2, cool, I'll do it. But I'm not going to go out of my way to play Destiny 2 just because I feel like we're getting spoon-fed so Activision can keep putting money in their coffers. Mm-hmm. I'll buy freaking Crash Bandicoot because I know all 3 games are going to be there, and it's done. It's done. I'm going to buy the new Batman game because I know once I've pay for my season pass, I'm going to get all of them.
Yeah.
Destiny, I feel like it's I can't even say what I'm thinking, but it's not it's not great.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're trying to do something different, but it just feels like they're doing half measures, and they're doing it to get money.
Yeah.
And not please the gamer. And I know that's the problem with, most of these publishers, that they're thinking more of themselves than the people that are consuming the content and everything. But I personally don't want to feel like I have to keep shelling out $40 each time to keep playing a game that should be from the beginning done.
Yeah, I agree.
So sorry for getting on a rant.
It's all good.
But when you brought up Dying Light, I'm just like, oh Lord, child.
And I mean, you're right. I just hope they've learned their lesson. We'll just leave it at that.
I hope so too. Now, there is a company that has learned its lesson. And that's Battlefield.
Oh yeah.
New Battlefield game in development, coming to PS4 in 2018. I'm assuming that means Xbox One as well, PC, all of that. They're not just going to put a Battlefield on one console. No. That's just not going to happen. So don't freak out on that. A new Battlefield game is currently in development. Electronic Arts boss Andrew Wilson confirmed during a recent investors call. The new shooter is currently penciled in for a 2018 release, with Wilson confirming the project, which remains unnamed, will utilize the Frostbite engine. So, that's everything that runs in EA. If it wants to look good, it's going to run on the Frostbite. Yeah. So, same thing with Battlefield 1, ran on the Frostbite. Right now, it's unknown which direction the new Battlefield game will take. Battlefield 1 was a huge success, and one may assume that EA will be keen on to follow up on the World War I based shooter. On the other hand, there's a chance that we may see a spin-off entry similar to Hardline or Bad Company. One thing is for sure, Battlefield will not follow a similar path to Call of Duty in the sense that it won't release on an annual release schedule. This year's major EA game is, of course, Star Wars Battlefront 2, so it's unlikely to see a new Battlefield game it's more likely to see it every few years, every couple of years.
Which is good because there's so much content with Battlefield 1 right now that, I feel like I could keep going on it.
Yeah.
Because I know me and Luke play it every now and then, and I love it. It's still fun to play.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're taking that road of, we'll give it a few more years to, work on it to get it as good as possible, to put all the content out there. We just talked about that. But I like that they're taking time and letting, a game that is like Star Wars Battlefront 2 breathe, have that time, and then you have a game. So it's that rotation where it'll be Battlefront, Battlefield, Battlefront, Battlefield. I think that's a perfect rotation. And you look at Battlefield 1, it was absolutely amazing. It was such a good game. It was beautiful. Mm-hmm. It handled well. It was a ton of fun to play. So I'm glad that they're taking that time to really work on the game and put out good content. And I'm not saying, I know there's a lot of Call of Duty fans out there. I'm not saying that Call of Duty isn't still I think Call of Duty plays better than anything, in my opinion. Like, it's the best shooter there is.
Yeah.
Mechanically, I think that on this yearly basis, we're getting to where we're fatigued on it, just like Assassin's Creed. Thankfully they took some time off. You see there's a lot of changes that they did with Assassin's Creed Origins, and I cannot wait for it.
I'm excited, so pumped.
Unfortunately, October 27th, pretty freaking stacked, because you have Mario, you have Assassin's Creed, and you have the Fractured Butthole.
And Shadow of War comes out in October too. Is it
October 27th?
I don't think it's 27, but I know.
Yes, it does come out as well. But like on that day.
Oh, the day.
The day is. I want to say it's all of those real quick. Yes, on the 27th, it's Assassin's Creed. No, I'm sorry, I misspoke. It's Super Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed, and Wolfenstein. So you've got all of those on that day. So that's going to be, you've got everything for everybody. You like shooters, boom, you got that. You like platformers, boom, you got that. If you like
whatever Wolfenstein is.
I'm saying shooters, Wolfenstein. Yeah. If you like Assassin's Creed, boom, you got that. So it's a good year to be a gamer.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, speaking of the Switch, Take-Two staggering NBA 2K18 on the Switch with digital version releasing earlier. In its financial results for this quarter, Take-Two released a schedule of currently announced games as it relates to its financials. Curiously, the schedule makes a distinction between the digital version of NBA 2K18 on the Switch and the physical version that comes out on an unspecified date later in the fall. The digital version launches along the Xbox One, PS4, PC, PS3, and Xbox 360 versions on September 19th, and the physical edition for the Switch also alone is simply listed as fall 2017. All the other consoles will be available both digitally and physically on the September date. Now, what I gathered from this, I think Take-Two is playing it smart. They're venturing into the Switch territory.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's very smart because they're like, it's cheaper for us to do a digital release. We don't have to worry about cards. We don't have to, worry about trying to fit all that information because 2K, one of the biggest installs on our consoles.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't have to worry about that little card. None of that. They're just doing it digitally. And I think that's going to tell them, is it worth us putting in the effort? We're good faith here. We're going to put that out and see if it's going to be supported by the people that have their Switches.
Yeah.
Now, I'm excited for it.
I think it's a great idea.
I like getting to take NBA 2K on the road. Sign me up. I'm in love. I'm in love here. But I hope it runs well. That's
the key.
That's my next thing is like, is it going to run well? Is it going to do the thing that I need it to do?
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be on par? It's, of course, underpowered compared to the other games.
Consoles and PC.
But as long as it does the core functions and I can still do things with it,
yeah.
It might not have my player mode. Okay, that's cool. Does it have play? Play now, and I can play stuff. It might not have my team. Okay, I don't really play that. So just, having some of those functions that I really like to do,
yeah,
I'm good with. So I'm excited for it. So if you've got a Switch, if you're looking to, if you want to see them support the Switch, this is the time to start talking with your wallet here because everybody's like, oh, they need third-party support. This is the time to do it definitely. Because if we don't have it, then people aren't going to come to the Switch. And the Switch is selling really well right now.
And that's what the Switch really needs is the back of these like third-party games and everything like that. So, like you said, talk with your game.
Yeah, you got to. So I'm going to. I'm going to have it on PS4 and my Switch. So I'm going to have it where I can, I can play a game right now. Just
yeah, when you're having to travel on a bus.
Yeah, I have it. Boom, got it done. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Now, this is what I feel is missing in my life. I've gotten my NES Classic. Took forever to get.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Daniel got it for me as a wedding present.
Nice.
Love it. But I couldn't buy it in stores.
No.
Couldn't get it. And that's what it seems like is going to be the same thing with the Super NES Classic to be made later in August. The fervor for the Super NES Classic, Nintendo's mini console hosting a buttload. I said buttload. It says boatload of 16-bit nostalgia is difficult to understate, exacerbated by the lack of legitimate pre-orders going up. Nintendo has confirmed today that pre-orders for the system will go up in late August in North America, putting the rest concern that availability would simply be a free-for-all at release. Now, earlier, they're like, oh, Walmart put up, oh, we got pre-orders. Oh, this other company put up pre-orders. All of this, and then they had to back off. They were like, oh, we don't have any pre-orders. Had to start refunding people and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't speak well for this.
No, and I feel like it's going to be the same crap show we had with the last one, unfortunately. Because this is such a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
But if it would only be executed as great as the idea is, then we would have no problems. Everybody would have one. Nintendo would be making bukus of money.
Yeah.
But it's not executed well. That's the biggest issue.
No, it's not. And here's my thing. NES Classic, couldn't find them. They were hardly produced. It was just bad overall. And it seemed like Nintendo was making that happen on the production side of things. Nintendo has clarified that there will be a significant amount of SNES Classics would be available at release, though they shied away from any specifics. The biggest problem is that this is only going to be made for a year. Like, we're only going to get the ability to buy these in stores for a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having problems producing the Switch right now. I think they're soon to be out of that woods. But they had problems producing the NES Classic. They're going to have problems producing the SNES Classic. So if you're wanting one of these, you're going to have to put the money down. You're going to have to stay up late. You're going to have to try to jump on that train. It's kind of like when you're getting a Comic-Con ticket, like, you know, San Diego Comic-Con, you got to be right there, and it's gone in 13 seconds. Same thing with a Switch. Like, it was gone.
Same way with the hotels for Pensacon. And you walk in and you're the last person to call for a room and you get it.
So, Super NES Classic will feature 21 games, including the never-before-released Star Fox 2, and release on September 29th. So if you're interested in that, check it out. Try to get one. If you do, congratulations. You're one of the chosen ones.
And good luck getting it.
Yes.
If you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want gaming content, you can go over to Nerd Cave Gaming right there. If you want to support us, you can check out Patreon right there. If you want more videos, check them out right here. Go ahead, pick one of them. I wonder which one you're going to do. If you're going to be cool, you'd pick any of them. All 4 of them. You'd be awesome.